What is going on, guys? How y'all doing all tonight? This is the Club of the Man 1993 on this Wednesday evening, and we are here live for my live review of AEW New Year's Smash. We're going to review both nights from the past 2 weeks combined together for one show, basically, what we've done for any of these two-night specials that AEW has had. So that's why I didn't review AEW last week, but I'm reviewing it this week, talking about both shows this week. Also, before we get started, I know you probably noticed, back to, normal, before my upgrade in technology of no green screen. I'm sorry, guys, I didn't have the time to set it all up tonight, so unfortunately, I have a tight schedule the rest of this week with, other things going on till Friday evening. So unfortunately, this review didn't come with the green screen. So sorry, guys, no fancy background, but again, it will be back. Don't you worry. So let's talk about this two-night extravaganza. There was some really good things that happened for New Year's Smash the past 2 weeks. There was some stuff that wasn't really. Stuff that was a little bit lackluster. It was a little of an inconsistent 2 weeks for New Year's Smash. There was some really good, and there was some not horrible, but stuff that could have been cleaned up a little bit. Stuff that was just like, okay, it is what it is, but we'll see. And it's just like how we get here and whatnot. So some weird storytelling, but still some awesome stuff. And you know what, again? Weird stuff's going to happen. Not everything's going to be great, but some stuff that is great, oh boy, you bet your money it is great. So, we're going to roll into it, talk about both weeks, night 1 and night 2 of New Year's Smash, and we will roll from there. Of course, this was supposed to take place for both shows December 30th and then January 6th, but of course, because of the death of Brody Lee, this got moved to last week and this week. I gotta say, both main events on both shows really capitalized very well. Most of the other matches, decent. Like I said, the main event is what really made this two-night extravaganza pretty, given the great night did. If it wasn't for that, probably got just like a B- out of this, because this was fine. The rest of this stuff, it wasn't the strongest content I've seen from AEW, but we still had some good stuff, but I expected a little bit better from certain things. I definitely gotta give the rub, though, to night 1, though, especially with how that ending happened with night 1. Oh boy. So, let's roll into it, and let's talk about both shows from here. So, night 1, we started off with a tag team match with the Young Bucks and SCU taking on the Acclaimed and TH2 in a good match, and the babyfaces won. Well, if the Young Bucks are babyface right now, we don't know. They still are, based off of what's going on now with their booking, with what, don't want to give too many spoilers, just didn't see night 1, of course. But afterwards, the story is centered back on SCU. Apparently, on an episode of Dark, SCU stated that basically, they're putting, all the cards on the table now. Next time they lose, they're breaking up. So, basically, kind of like, the whole Ric Flair retirement route, basically. I don't know if it means, Christopher Daniels is looking to maybe retire, or what, or, Scorpio Sky, who's been getting some more attention as a single star as of late. If that's going to be the case with that, I'm not sure, but yeah, the pressure is on, so I'm not sure if, they're going to do a match at Beach Break between the Young Bucks and SCU. Are they going to save it for Revolution in February? I'm not sure, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that stipulation is basically on the it's on the shoot, not the shoot. That's on for SCU right now. Is next loss they get, they're going to be breaking up as a tag team. We also had Jon Moxley returned for the last week for the first time since he dropped the AEW World Title to Kenny Omega at Winter is Coming back on December 2nd. And he basically cut a pretty good promo, just telling the story of what all happened and how, Kenny Omega better watch out because obviously Moxley's coming after him after he took, the coward's way out and stole the AEW World Championship. And he's also coming for Don Callis as well, who took part in assisting Kenny Omega to become the AEW World Champion. So good promo there. That's not the last time we'd seen him for both of these nights. So then we were also told that Trent of Best Friends tore his pec, and he's going to be out for 4 to 5 months, which that sucks for sure. And then Miro challenges Chuck Taylor to a match for night 2. But if Taylor loses, he will become Miro's personal butler. Okay, that's kind of random. A trend for some stuff that happened. I can say kind of random. Like, I thought the feud was, unless this is because the feud is basically based off of Miro and Orange Cassidy. So unless this is Miro trying to take everything away from Orange Cassidy, maybe it's weird. It is very weird. I'm guessing we're going to get Miro and Cassidy at Revolution at this point because I think Beach Break is, it was something to do with the way, I think it is either bachelor party or I think it's the wedding at Beach Break between Miro or Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford, and of course Miro's still the best man. But yeah, this thing with him now having Chuck Taylor as his butler, which we'll get to that, of course, in night 2, a little strange. Not sure what that's all about. What's up, Mark? Thank you for joining me in the live chat. One of the better undercard matches, though, was Wardlow versus Jake Hager. Basically a Haas fight. Very good chemistry between these two. Obviously, even though the Inner Circle, is still together, they have their grievances against each other. We'll talk about when they talk about their New Year's resolutions from night 2 that they talked about tonight. This was basically, kind of the same thing as whenever Seth Rollins and Randy Orton had their first match when they started teasing the cracks with Randy Orton and the Authority in 2015. Basically just Wardlow and Jake Hager blowing off some steam with each other and just, fighting. And, again, I had it work well together. Great chemistry. Definitely one of Hager's best matches since coming to AEW. And it was nice to give Wardlow a clean victory over, one who's been very successful in MMA. And also because I feel like Wardlow really hasn't had many big wins against many big stars. Like, he lost to Cody Rhodes. He, and a few other, superstars that obviously, he had the, he could have won to get, a little bit of a bigger upper hand for him, basically. But, I think giving a win over Hager here was just fine. Hager could take the loss here, but excellent match. Definitely one of the better matches of this show. And later on tonight, we have MJF checking on Jake Hager, which Hager seems to appreciate, but it's still continuing that story. It's looking like MJF's trying to play with the strings of the Inner Circle, of course. So we'll see where it goes next with that. We have Matt Hardy starting up the Matt Hardy brand, and he has Private Party sign contracts saying they can do whatever they wish, but he owns 30% of their shares that they get from their third party stuff, which obviously that was a shot at Vince, pure shot at Vince with him banning third party streaming for wrestlers in WWE. But basically, he's saying now that he owns Private Party. So, so again, this Matt Hardy heel stuff is still trying to figure it out a little bit, but we'll continue to see where that goes. Because obviously, Private Party is seeming to, catch on that, something's really gone into Matt, like what's up with him, as he's obviously, because the rumors I'm hearing, it sounds like Matt Hardy has the full creative control in his storylines. So he's obviously trying to get Private Party really over as a tag team. So him maybe being, this heel, I want to say dictator, but, this heel, corporate figure who thinks he has the power over all these people could be something. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes as Private Party signed those contracts. We have a weigh-in for Night 2's main event. Brian Cage and Darby Allin, who about 102-pound difference between the two of them. They trade insults, of course, making fun of Darby's size. But then Sting comes out, and then Taz is like, I'm sick of you sticking your head and your nose to our business. Next week, Cage is going to win the TNT Championship. And also, we had the new TNT Championship design revealed, as the old one, of course, was given to -1 Brody Lee Jr., as that was the last championship that Brody Lee had held before he had passed away. So it's nice. And it's actually in this photo right here. So pretty nice design, I will say. So that was that. Let me see here. I will get back to the live chat. FTR and Jurassic Express set up a random match for next week backstage. Cody Rhodes had a match with Matt Sydal. I'm sorry, what's going on with Matt Sydal? Like he comes to AEW. He makes his entrance in that Casino Battle Royale, I think it was All Out, when he made his AEW debut. He botched that shooting star presser, whichever move it was, but he's not looked too good since he started in AEW. He's been botching a lot. His matches aren't clean. He looks kind of rusty in the ring. It's just like a little concerned. But Cody Rhodes wins, but afterwards Chaos Party attacks. Rhodes and Sydal are going to take them all out. But then, one of my favorite botches of botches, which these nights did have several botches. But my favorite one still had to be Snoop Dogg came out. Obviously to promote the Go Big show that they're doing now. He gets up to the top rope, and I can't remember who it was he's about to do a splash on. Goes to do a frog splash. He botched it so bad, but it was one of those botches that it was so bad that it was funny. Like, I couldn't help but crack up to see Snoop try to do some type of a splash. He just goofed it up big time, but it was hilarious. But Serpentico, or whatever heck it was, he did it on, I think it was. So that was funny there. Hikaru Shida then defeated Abaddon to retain the AEW Women's World Title, which I was fine with. Good match. I thought maybe Abaddon was gonna be the one to dethrone Hikaru Shida, but obviously it was just too soon. She has her ways to go, but it felt more of somewhat of a character match instead. And that's fine with, again, with her being new and still blossoming out, people, not used to her, but we'll see where it goes next. As I keep saying, the women's division just is super directionless for AEW, but we'll see how that goes. But that was good for what it was. Speaking of women, we're told that Ty Conchi will challenge Serena Deeb for the NWA Women's title. And then we get the main event. Definitely, it may have been the main event of night 1, but to me it was the best part of both shows. Kenny Omega took on Rey Fenix for the AEW World Championship. This was a classic. Early match of the year contender. I wish I would have done live reactions for this match. This match was awesome. Two of the best in the world. Two guys that are literally, the men in wrestling, basically, put on just an absolute clinic. Great counters, great maneuvers. Don Callis was out there causing some distractions and whatnot, but Ray hung in really good. Just an excellent match that people are going to be talking about for a long time. Definitely one of the best, just live TV matches, not pay-per-view match that AEW has done since their debut. Unfortunately, Kenny Omega was able to outsmart Phoenix, and he got the win. But after the match, Don Callis, of course, reveals basically that the rest of Death Triangle which is Pac and Pentagon Jr. They were attacked by Eddie Kingston and the Butcher and the Blade backstage, so no one's coming out to help him. But as they're doing this, here comes Jon Moxley, and he attacks Kenny Omega with a barbed wire bat. But then, out of the crowd comes the Impact Tag Team Champions, Gallows and Anderson, formerly the Club in WWE. But they're now the Impact Champion, of course, in Championship, the Tag Team Champions. Of course, Kenny Omega's been doing work in Impact ever since he won the World Title from Don Callis. Basically, now he's trying to play the role as being best in the world and go to different brands, which is an awesome way to have cross promotion. But Moxley came out, and he was 3-on-1 teamed up on. And as he was teamed up on, there's other superstars and such from the crowd that tried to come in and slow things down. But Omega, Gallows, and Anderson were able to knock them all off. The Young Bucks came out as the chaos was still going on, and they're trying to talk some sense to their friends. But then, as it was going on, they threw a super kick or two and kind of showed a little bit of an allies with their old friends. And night one ends by having all 5 of them in the ring: Omega, Gallows, Anderson, Matt, and Nick Jackson doing the 2 Sweet. So it looks like we got a Bullet Club reunion, which, again, I didn't watch much New Japan, but obviously, anyone who knows wrestling knows how awesome the Bullet Club was. So, now with basically the Bullet Club reuniting, Sting, Kenny Omega as world champion, a lot of other things happening on AEW. Again, NXT stands no chance. No chance whatsoever against AEW for sure. But definitely an excellent way to close out night 1, and again, definitely a match of the year contender, and the whole reuniting of the Bullet Club was just stinking awesome. So there's that. That was night 1. Let's check the live chat before we go off the air. Before we move on to night 2. Mark said, I wonder what's going on with Darby Allin and Sting. I'm still guessing maybe a tag match at Revolution or something with Darby Allin and Sting teamed up against 2 members of Team Taz, maybe. That's what I'm thinking. Or a 6-man with Cody Rhodes on in there. That way they can take on all 3 members of Team Taz, such as Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, and Powerhouse Hobbs, is what I'm thinking. What's up, Elite Squad? He says it was either a C+ or a B- for him. Why is Sting on the show every week? The overexposure is insane. He literally comes out every week and saves Darby and stares down Team Taz. So he's bored by Sting's appearance, so that's fine. But more is to come with Sting. I still feel Sting is going to have a match, so I'm okay with that for now. What takes so long for the club to beat 3 jobbers? Which that was another problem as well. Really good main event match between Cage and Darby. And why is AEW still throwing shots at WWE? True, kind of gotta move on from it, but it works for what it is. Mark misses broken Matt Hardy, me too. And also, Elite Squad doesn't care about Matt Hardy at the moment. Again, this heel booking for him is weird. Gotta see more from it though, in my opinion. Chaos Project suck. They used to be jobbers, and then Luther is freaking 50 and is so slow in the ring. He only there because of Jericho. Phoenix and Omega was great. With the music at the start of the video, I just came here now. Wait, what? I'm not sure. Oh, Fidget 1764. It's Tommaso Ciampa's theme music. What's up? He's one of my friends who plays some Wolfenstein games. Good to see you here, buddy. So that was night 1 of New Year's Smash. Let's roll over now to night 2 from tonight. We started off with Pac defeating Eddie Kingston. Again, I just keep saying, I'm just not getting the story with Pac and Eddie Kingston. Like, are they fighting over who owns Death Triangle? Well, Phoenix and Pentagon Jr.? Like, I don't get it. Like, they were a random stable thrown together before Pac went away, and then I'm just not following along. Something's missing with it. Pac wins with a brutalizer submission on Eddie Kingston. Afterwards, Lance Archer joins the party and brawls, but then him and Pac start arguing. So why is Archer a babyface also? That part got confusing to me. Miro defeated Chuck Taylor, and now Chuck Taylor is going to be Miro's butler for about a month, and there's nothing Cassidy can do about. Okay, don't know what that's going to be. We have kind of like a recap segment what happened with Matt Hardy, basically having the private party sign contracts, and they're not happy about him claiming 30% of their earnings. We also have a segment with the Inner Circle talking about their New Year's resolutions. Championships, of course, as I keep saying they need. Jericho says how him and MJF are desiring to become AEW tag champs. But then Santana and Ortiz start arguing them, saying, whoa. We're the tag team of the Inner Circle. And then, Sammy Guevara basically argues with Jericho, aren't we the sex gods and whatnot. And they all start arguing. But then Jericho, again, they start arguing over who is the true tag team of the Inner Circle. But Jericho holds up. He says, now, obviously we have some steam with each other. So just like what Hager and Wardlow did on night 1, they're going to blow off some steam next week. We're going to have a triple threat tag team match. Santana and Ortiz, Chris Jericho and MJF, and Wardlow's not in any of these matches, I believe. And then Sammy Guevara and Jake Hager. And the winning team will be the one to fight for the AEW World Tag Titles for the Inner Circle, which could be Jericho and MJF. I'm thinking it's probably going to be Jericho and MJF based on the story goes, as MJF is continuing to try to ruin the Inner Circle from what it looks like. So we have that. Then we have Dark Order basically addressing what's next, since they're moving on now from Brody Lee and his death and whatnot. Evil Uno says that, I'm not sure, but next week we're going to have 2 members team up with Hangman Adam Page, and they ask Page, will you tell us when you're going to join the Dark Order? And he says, I'll make my decision. I'll tell you after our match next week, as he will team up with the Dark Order. So obviously, for next week or so, we're probably going to be trying to figure out or be made clear if whether Dark Order is going to be heels still, or they're going to be baby faces rolling off of the respectful momentum that they got because of the death of Brody Lee recently. So we'll see where that goes next week. We were supposed to have a match with the Elites, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks taking on Brian Pillman Jr., Griff Garrison, and Danny Limelight. But then Don Callis changes it and says that it's going to be the Good Brothers, Gallows and Anderson, teaming up with Kenny Omega, much to the disappointment and dismay from the Young Bucks. Afterwards, though, John Moxley came out through the crowd. He attacks Kenny Omega once again, is outnumbered. The Lucha Bros and other people come out to even up the odds. But this time, the Young Bucks tried to play peacemaker and talk reason to both Omega and Callis and the rest of his crew, and then also try talking some sense into John Moxley. So it looks like the Young Bucks, that they did reunite the Bullet Club, but it looks like the Young Bucks is still kind of back and forth as to where they stand with all this, pretty much. We had the first of the waiting room segments. Cody Rhodes was supposed to be the guest, but he was interrupted by Jade Cargill, and she starts bashing Cody Rhodes, and it's just trashing Brandy Rhodes as well, and her being pregnant. And then Red Velvet arrives, which is kind of random. That'll be like Big Swole or something, and it starts off this big brawl. And then Thunder Rosa shows up on the screen and says that her and Britt are going to have a match at Beach Break, which Britt claims she doesn't have to do. So we'll see what happens in that match. That should have been a match saved for Revolution. That's a pay-per-view match. And yes, these network specials are meant, these, specials, with the special names, are meant to be, feel like a pay-per-view. But that's a match that I still think should be saved for Revolution, Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. Because that's going to be one of the best women's matches I think AEW's done so far. And I actually cannot wait for that. FTR defeated Jurassic Express. Serena Deeb would retain the NWA Women's Championship off of from Ty Conchi. And then the main event was Darby Allin and Brian Cage for the TNT Championship. Awesome match. Cage, showed off his power and such. He even busted open Darby Allin. Darby took advantage of his agility and whatnot, which I thought him and Cage worked really well together. Because this has been a build for this match for like 8 months. I think this all started back at the Casino Battle Royale. I think it was at Double or Nothing. I think where Cage made his debut and he won the number 1 contendership, and he had tossed out Darby Allin through ladders. But toss him. There was some blood involved. Broken tables. It was a pretty good back and forth match. The ending came though whenever Ricky Starks tried distracting Darby Allin, but then Sting came out and attacked Starks with the bat, and Darby Allin was able to hit like a crucifix bomb, which I don't know how Brian Cage landed as smooth as he did on the back of his neck, but thank God he did, because that could have led to something bad. But Darby Allin wins, retains the title. That's how we go off the air. Good shows for both nights. Definitely could have been some tweaks to improve some things, but there was some stuff that was really good. Like, again, I love the match with Hager and Wardlow. I love the match, of course, with Omega and Rey Fenix. Gallows there said joining in was freaking awesome. The main event for the TNT Championship was great too. So it was just the show was a little bit inconsistent. Not a total flop though. Those two main event matches still made it feel like a great show though to me. But I give for both nights in total a B+. B+ for that. And nobody else is in the live chat. So I'm going to get ready to go to bed. Again, guys, I'm sorry, but I couldn't get the green screen up. I didn't have the time to do so tonight. So, hope you still guys enjoyed this review. Again, New Year's Smash for me gets a B+. What are your thoughts on New Year's Smash? Who do you think is going to be challenging next for the championships? As always, guys, your thoughts down in the comment section below. Be sure as always to slap a like on the video and subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Twitter at DemandAirboy93. Until then, guys, I'm checking out. Have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you all later. Peace out, everybody.
No